Namaskarbhyah, Swagatam. Welcome to today's session. Let us begin with the prayer. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave na guroh paramam shishurasmi guroho matirasti gurau mama pahi guro ब्रवीमि संस्कृतं वाचा ध्यायामि संस्कृतं हृदा कुर्वे सेवाञ्च कायेन वन्दे संस्कृतमातरं यो नरः संस्कृतव्योम्नि ह्यालयं रमते मुदा संस्कृतिं चैव संस्कारं विन्दते नात्र संशयः. I welcome one and all to today's session, Hayagrivam Upasmahe, Way to Wisdom Through Divine Grace. I welcome you all to this course. This course is going to be like today is the first session. So tomorrow is also one more session will be held. So every Saturday the class is going to happen. So 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We have 10 sessions approximately. Let me introduce the teacher of this course, Dr. Ranjani Parthasarathi. Ranjani Bhagini has completed her Kovita exams and she is MA Samskrita Shiromani, done her MA in Samskrita Shiromani with specialization in Vishishtadvaita Vedanta. And she has been taking classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayanam, Vishnu Puranam and Mahabharatam for the past 20 years. And she's a computer engineering professional with a PhD from IIT Madras. And she is a retired professor of computer science from Anna University and has carried out research on the applications of IKS in computer science. So I welcome you, Bhagini, and thank you so much for taking up this course. So let me explain how to join the class. So everybody, as you all aware now, like you will be logging into our website, that is www.sanskritfromhome.org. So let me show how you will go and so as usual, you will be coming to our website www.sanskritfromhome.org. If you have not signed up not yet signed up, you have to sign up here, or if you have already logged in, it will be showing here as My Learning. If you click on My Learning, it will be taken to your student dashboard. This is the dashboard where you will access your course content and you will join the class every day. So the joining of the class, it will be here. Okay, as of your course, whatever the courses you have taken, it will be here, shown here. So once teacher starts the class, it will show here as live. And one second. So you can see now. So the class is going on. So the join now button will appear here and you can join from your dashboard. And for the content, as you have, like you have already logged in, I mean, it will be shown here, the course name. If you click on that, it will be taken inside the course materials. So here the contents will be available. We have, like, we will be uploading the recordings within 48 hours and the video, audio and the PDF will be available here for your reference. So basic details like webinar guidelines, it is a webinar. So you will be, you can join through your phone or a system. So you will be having the raise hand option, Q&A option and mute unmute. For better audio experiences, you can use your headphones. So any queries, any related, course related queries or any queries, you can mail us to sanskritfromhome@vyoma-labs.in or you can call us for 9480865623. So one more request is whenever you will join, whenever you join the class, please close all other apps so that the internet lagging or any other disturbances will not be there. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. I'll request Bhagini to take over. Thank you so much, Bhagini. Dhanyavada. Bhagini, you're on mute.
Yeah. Okay. So Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Srimate Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha, Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Sarvebhyaha Suswagatam. A warm welcome to all of you for this course Hayagrivam Upasmahe, where we will learn the meaning of the Hayagriva Stotra composed by Swami Desika, Vedanta Desika, through this live webinar series, which is organized by vyoma-samskrta-pathasala. I would first like to express my gratitude to vyoma-samskrta-pathasala for including me as one of the teachers of this particular team. I think it's definitely a privilege to be part of this team, part of this organization. This organization is doing wonderful service to Sanskritam, Sanskriti, and Samskara, so you can see. So I definitely deem it a privilege to be part of this organization. I think it is definitely Bhagavan's grace, Bhagavan's anugraham and Acharya's anugraham that have got this opportunity to present the Hayagriva Stotram as the very first assignment. I'm indebted to Dr. Venkata Subramanya Sharma Mahodaya, Soumya Bhagini, and the entire team for having suggested that we start our classes with Hayagriva Stotram. So as you all know, Hayagriva is the Lord of Learning. He's the God of Learning. And for Vedanta Desika, Hayagriva is inseparable. So the Hayagriva and Vedanta Desika are like, they are together all the time. So to start with Hayagriva Stotram of Vedanta Desika is definitely Bhagavan's grace. And I'd also like to express at this time my Kritanyata to this team, Nagashri Bhagini, and then Maheshwari Bhagini, and all the volunteers who have been helping with the course content and so on. But with the AV and all the tech-related support that they are providing, I'm very indebted to them. So I'm really happy that I've got this opportunity, Bhagavan's grace, to do this Kainkaryam for Bhagavan by sharing the English meaning and the experience of understanding the Hayagriva Stotra with all of you. And welcome again. Thanks to all of you for joining this course. And let us now proceed to go into this course and get the blessings of Swami Hayagriva. I'm audible, right? Everything, your audio is okay? Just wanted to check that.
Yes, Bhagini.
So, okay, sorry. I'll just share my screen and start. One second, just are you able to see the screen?
Yes, Bhagini.
Thank you. So we'll start with an invocation. It's Acharya Vandana. Lakshmīnātha Samarambhām Nathayamuna Madhyamām Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So this is a salutation to the entire Guru Parampara, starting from Lakshmīnātha Sriman Narayana, with Natha Munigal, Yamunacharya as the Acharyas, and up to our Acharya, Asmadacharya Paryantam, up to our Acharya, to the entire Guru Parampara. This is a namaskara. We start with the shloka. Srivatsaveera Ragvisha Kripalabdhatma Jeevanam Atreya Gotrajam Vande Gurum Gopala Deshikam. Swami Gopala Desika is my Acharya. It is from him that I have learned my entire knowledge of Sanskrit and all the Shastras. So I am greatly indebted to Swami Gopala Desika. It's a namaskara to him. Shriman Venkatanatharya Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyo Me Sannidhattam Sada Hridi. This is a namaskara to Swami Vedanta Desika. Let him always be present in our hearts. So that is the shloka. We will look at the meaning of the shloka shortly. So before we go into the shloka per se, a small introduction to Swami Vedanta Desika, to the Hayagriva Bhagavan, Hayagriva Avatara of Swami, and the connection between Vedanta Desika and Swami Hayagriva. We'll just take a look at this briefly before we move into the shlokas. So Swami Vedanta Desika is considered to be the Ghantavatara. That is, Ghanta is the bell of Swami, of Srinivasa Perumal, of Tirupati Srinivasa Perumal. So Venkateshwara's Ghantavatara is Vedanta Desika. So the story is that he was born in the year 1268 AD. In fact, 2018, we celebrated the 750th year of Vedanta Desika. And the story is that he was born, his parents are Anantasuri and Totaramba. They were very devout and pious couple, but they did not have a child for a very long time. So they prayed to Swami Venkateshwara, and Lord Venkateshwara asked them to come to Tirupati. And when they were in Tirupati, one night they had the darshan of Swami, of the Lord, of Bhagavan, and where Bhagavan said, I will myself come and be your child. And they also could perceive his bell coming and entering into the womb, into the stomach of Totaram. So they were really blessed by this dream that they had. And it's also said that the next morning when the temple was opened, the bell was missing. So then everybody over there was very anxious as to what had happened. And then the elders over there were able to, they got the darshan, they got the information from the Lord himself that this is, he is going to be be born, that the Ghanta is going to be born as a great soul. And to Anantasuri and his wife. And so after that, Vedanta Desika was born. So this is the avatara of Vedanta Desika. And there are very interesting episodes and other interesting events in the life of Vedanta Desika. So right from the beginning, even as a child, he was very, very brilliant and a scholar. The scholarship that was there was just shining through. So it is his guru, his Acharya right through was his maternal uncle. His maternal uncle was Atreya, he's called as Atreya Ramanujar. He's also called as Kidambi Appullar. So this Swami, apparently when Vedanta Desika Swami was 5 years old or so, had taken him to his Acharya. His Acharya was Nadadu Rammal. So he had taken him to Nadadu Rammal's discourse. Nadadu Rammal was giving a discourse and they went at that time. So Nadadu Rammal, on seeing this child and his disciple, that is Atreya Ramanuja Swami, so he stopped the discourse in between and talked to the child, kept him on his lap and talked to the child. After this, it apparently happened that he forgot where he had stopped in the discourse. And even the disciples who were there were unable to point out where exactly he had stopped. So at that time, it was this little boy, Vedanta Desika Swami, who pointed out where he had stopped the discourse. So on seeing that, naturally, Nadadul Lammal was very pleased, and he blessed this child, saying that he is going to be the torchbearer for our sampradaya. And so as per that blessing, that is exactly what happened. And Vedanta Desika, from the age of 7, he was given Adhyapana started for him. His Adhyaya happened with his maternal uncle, as I said. And by the age of 20, he had learned all the Shastras. So whether it is poetry, whether it is logic, and then all the philosophical treatises, philosophical Shastras, everything he had mastered by the age of 20. And so as you can see, he was on both sides, poetry on one side, logic and other things on the other side, Shilpa Shastra and other Shastras also, everything he had mastered by the age of 20. So that was the Vidvat of Swami Deshika. Now coming to the his connection with Hayagriva, he had the darshan of Hayagriva. So how that happened was that Vedanta Desika, he belonged to his maternal uncle belonged to the Atreya Gotra, and for the Atreya Gotra, Garuda Bhagavan is considered to be a very important deity. So Vedanta Desika was introduced to the Garuda mantra by his preceptor, by his Acharya. And by chanting the Garuda mantra, by praying to Garuda Bhagavan, he had the vision of Garuda Bhagavan, and Garuda Bhagavan blessed him with Hayagriva mantra and a murti of Hayagriva. So that is how Vedanta Desika got initiated into Hayagriva Upasana. So he started doing Hayagriva Upasana and he got the blessings of Hayagriva. So this is a part of the story. Now coming to Swami Hayagriva himself. So what kind of an avatara was Swami Hayagriva? What he is, you can look at Swami Hayagriva as one of the first avataras of Narayana. So it is said that when the creation started, right, at the beginning of creation, even before creation, when there were only waters were there, right? So Bhagavan was there in the waters, and from his Nabhi Kavalam came Brahma, and Brahma was given Upadesha by Swami Narayana himself that he has to perform tapas and he has to start creation. So at that time, he also was given the Upadesha of the Vedas. So Veda Upadesha was given to Brahma by Narayana, right? But it so happened that just before he could start the creation, as he was doing the Upasana, and just before he could start the creation, he was just having these Vedas. They were like small children that he had with him. There were two asuras called Madhu and Kaitaba who appeared at that time. So this Madhu, of course, all this is the will of Bhagavan, right? It's all as per Bhagavan's will that these things happen. So this Madhu and Kaitaba apparently are like two drops of water that were there on that lotus leaf in which, that lotus where Brahma was sitting. And these two entered the stem of the lotus, and they found that Brahma was there doing tapas, and he had just got this Vedas that he had with him. So they took a Veda, they stole the Vedas from those children from him. You can look at Vedas personified as small children. So he took them away they took them away from him, and they hid the Vedas. So immediately Brahma was totally aghast. He had just started creation. He was supposed to start creation. So how would he do all this without the knowledge of the Vedas? So immediately he again prays to Sriman Narayana, and Sriman Narayana appears as Hayagriva. So he appears as Hayagriva, goes to the Parthasarathi where Madhu and Kaitava are, have hid the Vedas, and he retrieves the Vedas from there and comes back and gives it to Brahma, and he gives the Veda Upadesha to Brahma. So this is the avatar of Hayagriva. Of course, he also destroys Madhu and Kaitava. And since he's a Hayagriva, the form is that his griva, his neck and face are like a Haya. Haya is a horse. So it's a horse, face and neck, and the body is that of a human being. So a human body with a horse head is the very unique avatara. And it is said that his, the horse's neighing sound that is there, right? So that sound itself, with just that sound, he was able to destroy Madhu and Kaitava. So that's the greatness of Swami of Hayagriva. So Sri Hayagriva's avatara happens. So, and he is known as, because he is the one who has done the Veda Upadesha. So he is, and Vedas are the source of all knowledge. And so Hayagriva is considered as the one who is responsible for all knowledge. So he is our knowledge giver, so to say. So that is about Hayagriva. So, and I said, he is always considered as Jnana Prada. So you will see, wherever we are talking about Jnana, there will always be an association of Hayagriva. One of those instances is, where we have a Lakshmi Hayagriva Murti. So you will often find Hayagriva in two forms, as a Yoga Murti or as a Lakshmi Hayagriva Murti, along with Lakshmi Devi as his consort. So this there's a very interesting episode with respect to Sri Ramanuja as to how he was blessed with Lakshmi Hayagriva Murti. So this actually happened when Sri Ramanuja composed the Sri Bhashya, which is the Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, the Bhashyam for the Brahma Sutra as per the Vishishtadvaita school of thought. And when he composed this was taken to Kashmir, where Saraswati Devi, and he's supposed to have presented it before Saraswati Devi. And Saraswati Devi is one who acknowledges that this will be called as Sri Bhashya, and acknowledges the greatness of this particular Bhashya. And at that time, as a blessing to Sri Ramanuja, she also presents him with the Lakshmi Hayagriva Murti. So this Lakshmi Hayagriva Murti was with Sri Ramanuja, and from Sri Ramanuja, apparently it came to Swami Desika, and from Swami Desika, it was given to Parakala Matha, and in fact, it is supposed to be with the Parakala Matha even today. So that's the Lakshmi Hayagriva thing. And similarly, as I said, the Hayagriva Upasana was initiated by Garuda Bhagavan for Swami Desika, right? His Anugraha came through Garuda Bhagavan himself. So when he got the Upadesham of from Garuda Bhagavan for doing Hayagriva Upasana, he also received a Yoga Hayagriva Murti from Garuda Bhagavan. So Swami Desika received both Yoga Hayagriva Murti directly from Garuda Bhagavan and the Lakshmi Hayagriva Murti also through the lineage of various Acharyas. So this Hayagriva Murti, this Yoga Hayagriva Murti, it was as received by Swami Desika, and this happened at a place called Aushadadri. Now, this Hayagriva Upasana that was done by both Garuda Upasana and Hayagriva Upasana, which was done by Swami Desika, was done at a place near Kadalur in India, in Tamil Nadu. There's a place called Thiruvahindrapuram. So near that Thiruvahindrapuram, there is an Aushadadri. It's like a mountain of herbs, right, which is there. And it was here that he is supposed to have done the Upasana. And that is where he received the blessing of both Garuda Bhagavan and Hayagriva Bhagavan. So on receiving this Hayagriva Bhagavan's darshan, right, once he had the darshan, he was definitely overwhelmed with that. And after that, with Hayagriva's blessing, Swami Desika's compositions and creations had absolutely no bound. It just flowed through from his mouth. So it is said that Hayagriva Bhagavan was sitting at the tip of the tongue of Swami Desika, and all the various compositions, all the works of Swami Desika flowed through from them. So Swami Desika's works, we have in 4 different languages. We have it in Sanskrita, we have it in Tamil, we have in Prakrita, and Manipravalam. So Manipravalam is a mix of Sanskrita and Tamil. And one of the first compositions after he received the Anugraham of Hayagriva Bhagavan was Stotras. Okay, so in fact, it is said that the first Stotra that he composed was the Hayagriva Stotra and the Garuda Panchashat. So both, because these are the two blessings that he got directly, right? So these are the 2 shlokas, stotrams that he is supposed to have done as the first set of stotras. And then he has composed a number of stotras on all the deities near Trivendrapuram, near Kanchipuram, which was his birthplace. He was born in a place called Tupul, which is near Kanchipuram. So on all the deities which are in and around Kanchipuram, also we'll see that there are many stotras that have been composed by him. So 28 stotras, and there are a number of poetic works, philosophical works, rahasya granthas, and so on. You can look at the works of Vedanta Desika and the link that is provided. I'll give you a list of all the work that have been composed by him. Now, a short introduction to how this Hayagriva Stotra is organized. So the Hayagriva Stotra consists of 33 verses. Okay. So of these 33 verses, the verses 1 to 4, the first 4 verses can be looked at as Mangala Shlokas, which are there to invoke his blessings. So where he says, I pray to you, you are this kind of a person, I pray to this kind of Hayagriva, and so on. So that is Shlokas 1 to 4. And in the 5th Shloka, he does Prapatti to Hayagriva. So Prapatti in the Vaishnavite and Vishishtadvaitic tradition is the ultimate path to reach Bhagavan. Okay? Because ultimate and the easiest path to reach Bhagavan, because you do a total surrender, complete surrender is what you are doing when you say Prapatti. So Sharanagati. So Prapatti and Sharanagati to Hayagriva is what is being spelled out in the 5th Shloka. And in the 6th Shloka, we find that he does what is called as Naichyanusandhana. So often we find that Swami Desika, for all his knowledge and prowess, he goes into this mode where he says, I don't know anything. I am such a small being with very limited knowledge. How can I praise you, Bhagavan, who is of unlimited knowledge, who is the nature of bliss and essence? How can I even try to praise you? He always, you find in many of his works, this kind of an Naichyanusandhanam. Naichyanusandhanam basically means Nicha. He is looking at himself very low, and saying that I really can't do this. So I need your blessings. It's only with your blessings that I can do it. So he seeks his blessings in that sense. Sometimes you will find that he will say, though I have unlimited knowledge, with that limited knowledge, I will try to praise you to whatever level I can. You please accept that. So in different ways in which he presents that Naichyanusandhanam. So that is what he does here also. And then in the verses 7 to 9, we have a description of Hayagriva's grace, how Hayagriva's blessings have been given to Saraswati, Brahma, Brihaspati, and so. Then from 10 to 26, there's a description of his auspicious form, his swarupa, his qualities, his guna, and the blessings that we get, the benefits that we get as bhaktas when you pray to Hayagriva. That is what you find in 10 to 26. So in Shloka 27, there is a prayer for excellence in speech. So you can see that Hayagriva is the god of speech. So Vedanta Desika Swami prays to him for excellence in speech, so that, as he says in the next 28 to 29 verses, he can win in debates with other matas, with people who are proposing their own schools of thought. So he wants to establish the Vishishtadvaita school of thought. So for that, he needs excellence in speech. He should be able to win over them through his arguments. So he asks for excellence in speech and for winning in the debates over others. That is in 27, 28, and 29. So 30th verse, he prays for his grace. And in 31, he prays for Tattva Jnana, knowledge of all Tattva. whatever he needs to get, right? Tattva jnana is what you need, the ultimate tattva jnana that you need, brahma jnana that you need. He prays for that. And the 32nd shloka is a Dhyanashloka of the form of Hayagriva. It describes Hayagriva. In fact, that is the shloka which many of us recite. Even if we don't recite the entire 33 shlokas, we do the first shloka and the 32nd shloka and at least try to remember Swami Hayagriva Bhagavan. The 33rd shloka is the Phalashruti. So we have 33 shlokas. So the plan is that we will try to look at least 3 to 4 shlokas in each class, and we will look at how things go. So this is how we will be shlokas. So we will start with the first prayer to Vedanta Desika Swami. We will understand the meaning of that shloka, and then we will move into the Hayagriva Stotram. So we will take questions at the end, so that we can manage the time appropriately. I'll give about 10 to 15 minutes at the end for question answers. Okay, and yeah. So this shloka is referred to as a Taniyan for Vedanta Desika Swami. So in the Vaishnava tradition, there is a Tani shloka. Tani basically means a separate shloka that is there for the Acharyas. So these are called as Taniyan. And this particular shloka, and normally these Taniyans are composed by their Shishyas. So in this case, this shloka of for Vedanta Desika was composed by his son, who was also his disciple. So, it is he is called as Kumara Varadacharya. So this was composed by Kumara Varadacharya, who is the son of Swami Desika. So the shloka is this. Shriman Venkatanatharya Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyo Me Sannidhattam Sada Hridi. I will read the shloka word by word so that we get the pada vibhaga, the splits of the words. Basically, what we do when we are talking of pada vibhaga is that if there are any sandhi, because words get joined together in shlokas, there is sandhi, we split the sandhis and identify the separate words that are there in the shloka. Sometimes may not have a sandhi, in which case pada vibhaga becomes almost straight, just as it is specified in the shloka. In this case, that is exactly what is going to happen. So the words that we have are Shriman Venkatanatharyaha Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyaha Me Sannidhattam Sada Kriti. Shriman Venkatanatharyaha Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyaha Me Sannidhattam Sada Kriti. So you can see that there are small changes that you will see here. So Vedantacharya Varyo, and when we split it and remove the sandhi there, it becomes Vedantacharya Varyaha Me Sannidhattam Sada Kriti. And the Anvaya. So normally what happens in Sanskrit shlokas is that the order of the words when it is said in the form of a shloka can be very different from the form which is there when you're saying it as a sentence. So when we do Anvaya, we are bringing it to what is called as the prose order. That is, if you were from poetry, you're bringing it to prose. What is the order in which you're going to be specifying? So we do a prose order for. So the prose order for this particular shloka would be Shriman Venkatanatharyaha Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyaha Me Hridi Sada Sannidhattam. As you can see, the first 4-5 words are the same. However, you can see that here from Me Sannidhattam Sada Hridi, it becomes Me Hridi Sada Sannidhattam. So normally, we know that the verb will appear at the end of the sentence. Whereas in the shloka, it is there in the shloka form, in the verse form, it could be in a different order. That is basically done in order to have the rhyme under them, right? According to the chandas and so on. The words are organized. So now we write it in the prose order. So when you putting it in the prose order, we always have the verb at the end. So Sannidhattam, that is the verb. So Sannidhattam. So in fact, if we go from behind, as we will see when we are looking at the meaning of the Anvaya, we can see how to interpret this shloka. Okay. Sannidhatam, let him appear. Sannidhatam, let him be, let his sannidhi happen. Okay, where should it happen? Me hridi sannidhatam. In my heart, let him always be present. And when sada, always he should be present. Who should be present? That is Swami Vedanta Desika. The adjectives for him are explained in these adjectives. Okay, that's how we. So let's look at the word by word meaning of this particular verse. Shriman. Okay. Shriman, one who has Shri with him. Now Shri refers to Lakshmi, Aishwarya. And yeah, this is another interesting thing that we should look at. Now Swami Desika, he was such a learned person and he lived for 100 years with such a lot of vidvat, but he lived a very, very simple life. Okay, in fact, he lived only by doing unchavritti. So unchavritti is where you only go for alms and you only take whatever you receive for that day and you live with whatever you get. So there's no earning as such, right? So what is the kind of Shri? What is the kind of Aishwaryam that he had? He had Jnana as the Aishwaryam, you can say, or Kainkarya of doing service to God as the Aishwaryam. So that is how he was blessed, right? So Shriman Venkatanatharya. So he is called as Venkatanath. That was the name that was given to him, Vedanta. In fact, Vedanta Desika is an epithet that was given to him later. So he is Venkatanatha. So this Venkatanatha, this great person called Venkatanatha, who is Kavi Tarkika Kesari. What do you mean by Kavi Tarkika Kesari? So Kavi is poet. Tarkika is logician. So Kesari normally means lion. So what this actually tells us is who is like a lion or who is a lion among poets and logicians. Okay. So look at the when you say lion, you can look at it as who is a leader, right? Or who is foremost among them. So among all poets and logicians, he was considered to be the foremost as a leader among them. Now look at the range that he has. Now Kavi, when you say Kavi, it's talking about poetry, literary work and so on. And talk of Tarka, it's talking about logic. In fact, you can look at it as the left brain and the right brain, right? So one deals with the right brain, one leaves the left brain. And in all these aspects, he was considered to be foremost. So he is a Kavi Tarkika Kesari. So it's a very wonderful epithet that we have for him. Similarly, Vedanta Acharya Varyaha. So among the Vedanta Acharyas, so Vedanta refers to philosophy. Vedana Manta, so it refers to the Upanishads, and it talks about the Upanishad, the teaching. So one who is all the philosophy that is there in the Upanishads. So among the Vedanta Acharyas, among all the philosophers or the teachers of philosophy, he's a Varya. He's considered again to be a very one at the forefront, right? So foremost among them. So he is one of the experts among the Vedanta Acharyas. Now again, interesting to note this term Vedanta Acharya. Okay, so this term Vedanta Acharya, this particular term itself was given to him by none other than Bhagavan Ranganatha. So Lord Ranganatha, Periya Perumal as he's called in residing in Srirangam. So Srirangam Perumal was the one who actually gave him this title of Vedanta Acharya. So it is said that in Srirangam there were a lot of other schools of thought who were challenging the Vishishtadvaitic school of thought. And Swami Deshikan was the one who went and argued with them for more than a week, and he established the Vedanta of Vishishtadvaita. And as an appreciation of that, Bhagavan himself calls him Vedanta Acharya. You are the Acharya for Vedanta. So that is the title that he has. And at that time, Ranganayaki Devi, right? Tayar has given him the title of Sarvatantra Swatantra. So for all tantras, right? He is the expert in all the tantras. So these are the titles that he received. And here Vedanta Acharya Varaya is a beautiful word that is used by his disciple. So this Swami Venkatanatha, Vedanta Desika, me hridi, in my heart, sada, always, forever, sannidhattam, let him reside. This is our prayer. Now, why do we want him to reside in our hearts? So that when we are going into his works, we will be able to understand his works with his grace. That's the idea. So when we interpret these shlokas, now it is interesting to start actually from though we went from the beginning and to the end. It's also interesting to understand these shlokas, from the word. The moment we have it in the prose order, Sanidhattam basically means let him reside. Right? So when you say let him reside, we can look at various questions that arise from this particular action that is to be performed. So let him reside would mean, so who has to reside? That's the question that comes up, right? And where should he reside? And how long should he reside? Simple questions that can be answered. So when you say Sanidhattam, let him reside, where should he reside? Me hridi, in my heart, let him reside. How long should he reside? Sada, forever. And who should reside? Shriman Venkatanatharya. Swami Desika should reside in my heart. And for how long? And who is the Swami Desika? So there are other words which are describing Swami Desika. So he is Kavitarkika Kesari. He is Vedanta Acharya Varya. He is this Swami Desika, who is a lion among poets and logicians, who is the exponent, who is foremost among the exponents of Vedanta philosophy. So let him reside in my heart. So obviously, we are praying to him. Look at the bhava. What is the bhavartha? What is it? What is the inner meaning that we get from here? So let this great seer, this blessed Sri Venkatanatha or Vedanta Desika, who is like a lion among poets and logicians alike, and is among the best of the teachers or exponents of Vedanta philosophy, be ever present in my heart. So what is it that we want? We want his blessing so that we are able to understand all his works. We need his blessings, right? Because Swami Deshika's works are not very easy to understand at one level. There's so much of vidit and so much of information that he encodes in every single word that he uses, whether it is poetry or whether it is a drama or whether it is a philosophical treatise. Every word, we say it is pregnant with meaning. So we really need to go deep to understand his, and that cannot happen without his blessing. So which is why we start with this particular prayer to Swami Deshika. So having prayed to Swami Desika to get his blessings, now we will move into learning the Hayagriva Stotram. We go to the first shloka of the Hayagriva Stotra. So this shloka, Hayagriva, is even in the in simple Anushtup Chandas. So we will look at this particular stotra. Jnananandamayam devam nirmalaspatika kritim Adharam sarva vidyanam Hayagrivam upasmahe. So he is, let's look at the Pada Vibhaga, the words that we have here. Jnananandamayam devam nirmalas phatika kritim Adharam sarva vidyanam Hayagrivam upasmahe. So as you can see here, Hayagrivam Upasmahe is split into Hayagrivam and Upasmahe. Just a combination of M plus A is M plus O is written as Hayagrivam Upasmahe. So the Anvaya, so this is the Pada Vibhaga, that is the word separation of the words that we did. The Anvaya, that is the bringing it into the prose order. So as we can see, in fact here it is very interesting. There is a very simple chain that you see over here. Upasmahe is the verb that we do upasana to him. Let us do upasana to him. Or is and we are going to pray to Hayagriva. Hayagrivam upasmahe. As we said, this is the title of our course itself, right? So Hayagrivam upasmahe. We are going to do upasana for bhakti for Hayagriva. Okay? So the Anvaya therefore is Jnananandamayam devam nirmalas phatikakritim. As such, this Adharam Sarva Vidyana is written as Sarva Vidyana Adharam. Sarva Vidyana of all Vidyas Adharam. He is the substrate. So we write it as Sarva Vidyana Adharam Hayagrivam Upasmahe. So the Anvaya is Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalas Phatika Kritim Sarva Vidyanam Adharam Hayagrivam Upasmahe. So Upasmahe, as we said, is the verb, right? So we are going to Upasana. Who are we going to Upasana for? Hayagriva. So Hayagrivam Upasmahe. And all these other terms that we have here, separated by the commas, are all adjectives for Hayagriva. They are describing this Hayagriva. Jnananandamayam Hayagrivam. Devam Hayagrivam. Nirmalas Patikakritim Hayagrivam. Sarva Vidyanam Adharam Hayagrivam. So that Hayagrivam Upasmahe, we are doing Upasana for. That is the Anvaya. Let's look at the word by word meaning for this particular shloka. So, Jnana Anandamayam. Now, there are deeper meanings for this particular shloka, which we will probably go deeper in the next class. But at least let us get the overall meaning for this particular shloka. Jnana Anandamayam. So, Jnana refers to knowledge. Ananda is bliss. Maya means one who is full of that. So, you can look at it as one who is the embodiment of that, one who is full of that. Both meanings we can look at. So, Jnana Anandamayam. One who is the embodiment of knowledge and bliss. Jnana Anandamayam. That is the first word. Then we say Devam. So, Devam is one who is effulgent, who is shining forth. That is one meaning. We also have another meaning for Devam in this context. Divu Kridayam. So there is also a meaning for Deva, which says one who is playful, who is playing. So what is the play that we talk about over here? Jagat Srishti, this Jagat Vyapara, right? This thing of doing creation, sustenance and dissolution of this entire universe is a play, it's a Leela for Bhagavan, right? So when you say Devam, you're actually referring to that Leela of Bhagavan. So he is that Bhagavan. So he is effulgent, who is also doing Jagat Vyapara himself as a play, right? That is also, we will look at that meaning a little in deeper. So Devam, that is one word. Nirmala Spatika Akriti. Right? 3 words here, Nirmala, Spatika and Akriti. So Nirmal, we use the term in Hindi also, right? Nirmala is pure, absolutely no blemish, blemishless, pure. Spatika. Spatika stands for white crystal. In Tamil, we say spatikam. Okay, something we use that term, spatikam. So white crystal, which is again pure, white and pure. Absolutely no blemish. So pure white crystal. He is of that akriti. So he is of that particular form. So he is with the form of a pure white crystal. All purity, all whiteness. Right? So you can see that there's such a beauty that is there in this particular form. So that beauty of his form is specified in this Nirmala Spatika Akriti. So this is, so Jnana Anandamayam, Devam, Nirmala Spatika Akriti, Sarva Vidyanam Adharam. He is the abode of all knowledge. Sarva Vidya, all Vidya. He is the Adhara. He is the base. He is the one from which all Adhara, all Vidyas are derived. So he is our, he is the person to go to for knowledge. Sarva Vidyanam Adharam. That Hayagriva. So Bhagavan Hayagriva, who is the Hayagriva, the horse-faced Bhagavan. Upasmahe, we pray to him, Pujayamaha. We Upasmahe, we go and sit near him and we pray to him. We do bhakti to him. So that is the meaning of this first shloka. Overall, general meaning of the shloka. Now we look at the bhavartha. So we pray to Bhagavan Hayagriva, who is the personification of Jnana and Ananda, right? Jnana, knowledge and bliss. So these terms have very deeper inner significance. We will look at those deeper significance in the next class. Now I will look at the overall bhavartha and then we will go into the deeper things in the next class, which will be tomorrow. Okay. And he is Deva. So Deva, as I said, means 2 things. He's God of gods. So Devadi Deva. In fact, Devanatha is one of the deities in Kanchipuram, who is greatly praised by Swami Desika also. So he is Devadi Deva, right? And as we also said, Deva also means that creation, sustenance and destruction of this universe are his play. So that is also indicated by the term. So he is the Jagat Srashta. Jagat Vyapara is his play. Okay, that is his, he is the source of this entire universe. That is indicated by that term. So Nirmala Sphatikakriti, his form is pure like that of a pristine crystal. And he is Sarva Vidyana Adhara. So what do you mean by Sarva Vidya? See, normally when in the Shastri context, we talk about Paravidya and Aparavidya. So Paravidya refers to Brahma Vidya, the spiritual knowledge. Okay? And Aparavidya refers to all the other so-called worldly knowledge, which normally refers to Vedas, Itihasas, Puranas, the Vedas, Angas. All these are referred to as Apara. Now, Apara and Para both lead to Bhagavan. They lead to the realization of Bhagavan. Okay. But Brahma Vidya is the one that will give us Brahma Sakshatkar. So both for Brahma Vidya, for Paravidya and Aparavidya, he is the basis. So to him we go for all our knowledge. Okay. And that Hayagrivam, Upasmahe, we pray to him. So in fact, this verse establishes Bhagavan Hayagriva as Paramatma. So all the characteristics that Paramatma should have are conveyed in these terms. So that is where we said the choice of the words that Swami Desika uses is so unique, right? So that so much of information is conveyed in those terms. So we will look at that meaning. We'll start with that meaning in the next class and then move on to the other shlokas. So I will stop with this particular shloka here. We'll take some whatever questions or any doubts that are there. And then we will do the Mangala shloka and complete it. I can see that there are some questions. Only Sanskrit version will be taught in class and there's no English version. Yeah, the shloka is written in Sanskrit. So we are looking at that you must be able to read that in Devanagari script. The meaning and other things, all the explanation is in English, of course. Yeah, so other than that, there are no specific questions. I think there were some hand raises that I saw. Something's there in the chat. All right. Any questions that anybody has? You can raise your hand and you can and I can unmute you and you can answer the question. Yeah.
Namaste, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. So I have two questions. One question is this one. When we say that Madhukaitapas kidnapped Vedas, so basically when we say Vedas, it doesn't refer to particularly any book. It refers to knowledge, right? So
Yes.
how does it mean to say that? What does it mean to say knowledge
So
is
that,
getting?
yeah, knowledge is getting, which means he loses his knowledge. They are taking away his knowledge. And to personify that, the way the story is said is that the knowledge, those Vedas are in the form of small babies. And so he takes away those babies. So this is more like it's an allegory, a kind of a thing, not allegory as such. It is when you say these stories, you kind of give some form to it, right? So that is what we are saying over here. So which means when he loses his knowledge means that his knowledge is diluted. So he's
one question again
Yeah.
here is in Tamil there is again one Avayar's verse wherein Vellattal Azhiyadu, Venthazhal Vegadu, Kalvaralum Kollattan Iyaladu. So basically that Avayar's verse, what it tells is that the knowledge is not one which is destroyed by floods or it could be burnt by whatever fire or something. So like that Avayar lists certain set of things there in that song. So here, how do we basically understand that knowledge is getting diluted or something?
Very interesting. Very nice question. So see, when we say that he is losing his knowledge, he's losing his, look at it like this. Okay, so let's say, for instance, something happens to us and we forget everything. Some kind of an amnesia happens. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Though we say it cannot be taken away, and I mean, the Avayar verse that you pointed out, it is possible that you are not able to put your knowledge to use. Right? So something can happen which is stopping you from using your knowledge. So which is almost like saying that knowledge is taken away. So in a sense, see, it again goes to point out the play of Bhagavan and Bhagavan's anugraham. So basically it says that even if he has the knowledge, for him to be able to use it, right, he needs the anugraham of Bhagavan. Srimad Narayana's anugraham is needed. So even for a minute, if he forgets that anugraham, he will not get that, right?
Understood.
It becomes unusable for him. So he needs the anugraham of Bhagavan. So that is the, I think, meaning that we need to derive from this.
Understood.
I will anyway check if there is any further meaning and get back to you maybe in the next class for that.
Sure.
If there are any deeper meanings.
Sure. And one more thing is that, say, this two people, that is Madhu and Kaitapa, could have been created only after Perumal has given the knowledge to Brahma and after Brahma
Yes.
has started creating the Srishti.
Correct.
It's not like immediately he has given the knowledge and these two were also
So,
there. Because
these were, correct, correct. So what they say is, again, this is what I have read from the from our explanations that are there. So they say that Madhuk and Kaitaba were in the form of 2 drops of water. That's what they created. And from that they sprung forth. Right? These 2 drops of water apparently were sticking to the leaf. I mean, he is sitting on a lotus, right? And those lotus leaves are there. So, and from there they spring forth. And again, it is said that it is due to the will of Bhagavan. So that something, Bhagavan's Leela is there, right? He's doing something there to show us something. That's the...
Understand. And the second question is, when you were talking about you told that when you were talking about this Maya, I think you told you can consider it as full of Jnana and Ananda or embodiment of Jnana and Ananda. What is the exact difference between full and embodiment? I was not able to understand.
Jnana itself, when you say embodiment, what I meant actually there was, you can look at him as his Jnana personified, Jnana itself. Right?
Okay.
So that Maya, so we normally say, I'll not go into the details of the Sanskrit either. Maybe in the next class, I will look at that. I'll give you some more details.
Sure. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And one more thing is this Madhukaitapa incident comes under which Purana or something, ma'am?
I think it is in Brahmanda Purana. It also comes in Mahabharata. Also comes in Mahabharata.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, we have a few questions here.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, yes.
Sorry, I can't read Sanskrit, so that's why I asked you the question earlier.
Okay.
So if the mantras is in English, then it would be easy for me to catch up with you while you're teaching.
Okay, I will check with the Vyoma team and see what can be done.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, and one more thing was that I think while you have given the 3 minutes video for the introduction of this course, the para and apara were told in the reverse fashion, ma'am. I think the para was put for worldly and apara was for the higher one. If my memory is right, I think that was the...
Oh, I'm sorry. Para is top, is spiritual. I'm sorry if that was there. That must be a mistake.
Okay.
I think I'm saying probably there is a mistake. Sorry for point out. I'll check it out. Anyway.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Para is para.
Okay.
And apara is low. Para is always on top.
Okay.
Para Brahman, right? Para is the...
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, there are some any other hands raised, or there are some questions that I can quickly answer. What is Brahma Vidya? Yeah. So these questions on Brahma Vidya, these Spatika Akritim, implication of Spatika Akritim, we will go into the details when we are looking at the meaning in the next class again. The detailed meaning when we will look at that also. What are the last 2 languages mentioned other than Sanskrit and Tamil? Prakrita and Manipravala. Manipravala is combination of Sanskrit and Tamil. It will look more like it is a Sanskritized Tamil kind of a thing. So that is what you'll find. Could you please repeat 20 to 26 slokas overall concept? Okay. So Anugraham. What is Anugraham? Anugraham is blessing. Grace, blessing, you could say that. All right, so I think that is good. Somebody has asked for the 20 to 26 shlokas, what is the... Let me just go to the summary there. Yeah, so 10 to 26, his auspicious form, qualities and the benefits of reciting his shloka, reciting his name, of praying to him is given. So I think this was your question. And then 27, 28, 29 are basically prayer for excellence in speech and debates and so on. 30 is prayer for his grace. And 31 is prayer for Tattva Jnana. 32 is Dhyanashloka, and 33 is Phalashruti. Any other? Yeah, I think we have kind of answered most of the questions. Is there a WhatsApp group for this class? I think I'll have to take Vyoma's help to answer that. Sure.
Yes, we have the WhatsApp group link, Bhagini. We will be sharing.
Okay, so there is a WhatsApp group. Okay, so there is a WhatsApp group that will be shared. Aren't Vedas to para-spiritual knowledge? Yes, para-spiritual is correct. We will again discuss that also in the next class of detail. Okay. So you can look at a spiritual, para-spiritual. And since we are talking of apara, for all knowledge, Bhagavan Hayagriva is the God. Okay, he's the one who gives us everything. He's the Adhara. So that's the point over there. Okay, I think we have answered the questions. If there are no other hand raises, let me finish with the Mangala Shloka. Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha. Thank you all. Again, namaskaram to Swami Desika,